my god. Nod of approval from Raquel in the back.
Still going. So today we're making one of El Salvador's most iconic dishes, pupusas. I'm here with my friend Raquel, who is from El Salvador. She grew up in El Salvador, so since young she's been eating this really delicious dish. So she's actually gonna teach us how it's really done. I'm excited.
Attempt.
But yeah, anything you want to say, Raquel?
Pupusas are the heart and soul of the country. It's basically a corn tortilla, or you can use rice, but people who use rice are wrong. Corn tortilla that's stuffed with cheese and beans and chicharrón if you want, and any other stuffing you want. And then the cheese melts and everything becomes nice and gooey and delicious.
Oh, good. So good. That pole. I hope we get that pole at the end.
Hopefully.
No, yeah. We will. So let's get started because I'm already really hungry, and I think the first step is preparing and making the dough.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Great.
Okay, so to make the dough, we're gonna use maseca corn flour. It's used to make tortillas, tamales, pupusas, and many other things from Latin America. And we're just using this and warm water. That's it. And some people add salt and maybe some oil if you want to make the dough softer, which is gonna be helpful later when we are building the pupusa so it doesn't break. So I think I will add some. And the ratio is 2 cups to 1.5 cups of water, warm water, and then just adjusting accordingly. So it all depends on what consistency you want. So we'll use those measurements as a soft suggestion, but we'll actually just wing it.
Yeah. Okay. Eyeball is the key too, right?
Exactly. Cool.
And you've got the eye.
Yeah. Okay, let's say that's 1 and 2. All right. And basically start to mix it.
This is a pro tip. We are adding a bit of oil to like a little bit of water, just so that when she is, oh, that's good. Yeah, when she's mixing the dough right now with water, it doesn't get all over her hair.
No. Okay. Thought you were gonna pour it for a second. None of that.
Not poured.
Not poured. This is, I'm gonna mix it with my hand, and then I'm gonna just like rub it on my hand, and that's gonna prevent in the future this. And it's gonna keep my hands nice and oiled up, so that when I do this, obviously we need more water. See, like the difference with this one that was oiled up. So I'm gonna keep doing that as we're doing the dough. So we're trying to make a nice soft dough. Yeah, we want this type of consistency, but we're missing all this.
Right. We're getting there.
Yep.
It's arm workout, huh?
Oh, yeah.
And I think this is what Raquel means by eyeballing earlier in the start, is you really, I think, we've seen her add a few cups of water in here to really aim for that consistency. So.
Do you want to try
kneading?
Yes,
I would love to.
Are your hands washed?
I'm going to wash my hands right now.
Okay, cool.
So here we go. I'm going to try. I'm not the expert, but so like this, yeah?
Yeah. You can't mess it up, really. Just try and mix it in. You saw the consistency that we want.
It's harder than it looks. She made it look so easy.
There we go, pick it up. It's a little drier. Let's see. Yeah. yeah, you got it.
Okay.
Yeah, and then just try and mesh it together. Yeah, there you go. Okay.
So Raquel took over because I think I was doing an okay job.
Agreed. But I think that should be good once I finish doing this.
So once this is in a good consistency from your perspective, next is setting up what's called the curtido, right?
Yes.
Okay. And this is one that we actually prepared overnight. It's best, obviously, when you pickle something, it's best to leave them overnight to really get the pickled effect or the taste of everything. So we've prepared them for 2 nights actually, right, Raquel?
Yeah.
For 2 nights. I'll show you just that in 1 second. So let's move on to the curtido.
Basically, we'll put the cabbage into the bowl. We'll cut maybe half an onion. We'll play by ear. We're gonna use all these jalapeños because I know you like spicy, and so do I. And you're gonna use a ton of oregano. And then we're gonna basically make pickle.
Pickle.
It's like pickled.
Ah, that's why we have to keep it like overnight.
Basically, yeah.
Okay,
it's like
so
a pickled
it's,
cabbage.
Got it.
Yeah. Now, we're putting this here. Oh my god, that is so much. Whatever. We'll make it work. Maybe we'll use the whole onion, but we'll see what the ratio looks like. Oh my god, this will be spicy. Normally in traditional curtido, Salvadoran curtido, the amount of jalapeño that you'll use for this ratio, because Salvadorans don't eat a lot of spice, be like this.
Okay.
Maybe like this. Traditionally, you'll use green cabbage and red onion, and a little bit of it's up to the taste of the client. Like, doesn't really matter. It's whatever. That's a saying, by the way, in Spanish that I translated from my head, and I just realized that doesn't really translate. But
Oh, really?
al gusto del cliente. Using salt and oregano to condiment our pickled curtido. Is the only thing we're gonna use, and it'll be amazing.
Do you eyeball this or?
Yeah.
Oh wow, it's impressive. No, I'm not even being sarcastic.
Okay. You know.
Al gusto
Al gusto del
del
cliente.
cliente. There you go.
No, a pinch.
Yeah.
There you go. 1 pinch.
Nice. That was beautiful.
2 pinches. 3. Let's do 5 for good measure. It's a lot of cabbage. I'm gonna use my hands because I like to work with my hands. And we're just gonna mix. Mix again. All right, well, the recipe says half cup of white vinegar, but I've eyeballed everything, so we're gonna keep on eyeballing. Let's see. Okay, that was a lot, but I think this should be good. All right, this seems mixed enough. Doesn't have to be like really well mixed. Okay, and now it's time to put this in the jars. Yeah, this is perfect. All right, we can top this off later. Perfect. I think we can add 1 more scoop in here. There we go. This is it. Super easy. And now we pop them in the fridge. All right, so I was taught that whenever you work with mason jars, you turn it upside down, and that creates a vacuum seal. And so if I wanted to, say, save this for like a month or like a longer period of time, this is what I would do. And like this would preserve it more than just like keeping it upright. And this is just while it ferments. Once you open it and you're like using it in use, let's say I keep this at the back of my fridge, I'll be using this one. This one, after I start using it, I can keep it upright and that's fine. It's just to create that vacuum seal to make it last longer. Next step is to prepare the fillings. My favorite pupusas are frijol y queso, which means cheese and beans. And we also have jalapeños. When Akbar was in El Salvador, he discovered that there's an option, a secret menu option in pupuserias to have jalapeno and cheese pupusas, which is not traditional, but it's become popular. So we're gonna do this too. So here we have mozzarella. Normally you'll use this cheese from El Salvador called quesillo, which is similar to mozzarella but saltier, and it's not pasteurized, which just makes it better. And try and break out the fibers, because ideally we want to scoop the cheese.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Okay. And while he's doing that, these are the beans we're gonna use. I don't know if you can see them. Okay, there we go. These are the beans we're gonna use. These are from El Salvador. They're refried beans that are already made. We're just gonna heat them up. This is the best consistency.
Over here we've got our finely chopped jalapenos, the cheese, and then Raquel is setting up the beans. So we're gonna take this cup with the jalapenos, mix a little bit of cheese in here, so we have two fillings, one with and one without jalapenos. I think it's the idea, right, Raquel?
Yeah.
As we wait, I think the next step is arguably the hardest, which is shaping the dough with the filling and then cooking the pupusas. So my shape is definitely not gonna look anywhere close to Raquel's beautiful pupusas later, but I'm giving a shot, and I think it'll taste good regardless, so stay tuned.
Growing up in El Salvador, in school, we would get taught the technique of how to mold the pupusa, like actually make it. It's called tortear, or in Salvadorian, with a Salvadoran accent, tortear with an I. And you know, us kids, super clumsy, so we get ingrained the technique in our brains, but the delivery, very different. Yeah.
This is the queso con jalapeños, and then this is the queso con frijoles.
Yes, but if you're at a pupuseria, you won't say that. The order is frijol y queso.
Frijol y queso.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah, nice ball. Perfect. And then you're gonna start to slowly try and make it into a tortilla, and try not get any cracks. Yeah, there you go. I guess like a big dumpling. Yeah. And more cracks, but that's okay.
Hey, that's not bad, Raquel.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, there you go. Just gotta make it like a little bit bigger.
For the filling.
Because you just have to think about how much filling you want to add, because you don't want a dry pupusa either. Like, you want that stuff to be stuffed.
True.
You know?
True.
So you need it big enough to be able to close it.
Okay, and then you said take a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
Like this much? More?
Yeah, that's fine. A little more, but this is our first one, so like you would get a feel of how you close it. So maybe a little less in your first one.
Okay.
So... Oh, and then just try and do the same as you did before. Remember to always add more. Okay, mine, the filling's already out, but who cares? Okay.
Here's mine. A little small, but what do you guys think? Let me know. This takes so much focus.
Okay, this is one of the better ones I've done.
That's good. That's really good.
Right here. Yeah. Okay, so a trick that I found that was useful when I'm in this process, instead of evenly making it flat, I'm only making it flat on the outside of it, which is what's gonna close. That way the center is a little better, and that's the base of when it already has fillings. If that
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, because before my filling would crack on the other side of my closing, and so I found that this was very useful. Yeah.
This is my bean one. Looks a lot rougher than my cheese and jalapeno. So the very last step here is to obviously cook your pupusas. Right now I've got mine in there. Lots of cracks, and honestly, we've got our trial pupusas. Those somehow turned out better than expected. But yeah, this is really the last step. You want it to kind of look like that.
The cooking takes like, I don't know, a minute, maybe 45 seconds. You play by ear, but you see how cooked it is. This is the consistency we want. And then you flip it. You see this one could have gotten a little more like golden. If the cheese comes out of it, the better, because it'll create this like cheese crust, which people fiend for.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
And people is me. We used up all the filling. There we go. Oh, this looks so fat. I love it. Oh, this is hefty. This is good. I think this one's ready. All right. And then I'll pour the sauce over my curtido.
Oh, smart.
But it's up to you. Like, you can pour it over the pupusa. That's also valid. It's up to you. El gusto del cliente.
That's right.
Okay, so you build it like this. And in you go. So good.
So how does this compare? I know we're not in El Salvador. Thoughts on how well we did this?
For today, really good.
Yeah?
Really good turnout. The amount of dough we made was perfect. Amount of filling too. 10 out of 10.
Wow. Okay.
I wish the cheese was saltier, but that's the only thing. Oh my god. Nod of approval from Raquel in the back.
Still going. Have you made pupusas before? Let me know in the comments. I've really enjoyed making today's video. Obviously, we have so much pupusas that we're gonna try to eat. I want to thank Raquel for not only hosting me in her kitchen, but also teaching me how to make pupusas today. And if you guys like today's video, be sure to like and also comment and subscribe for more food and travel adventures. We'll talk to you soon.